Back to some professional StarCraft 2, the grand finals of the ESL Open Cup Korea. 2 names you shouldn't be too surprised to see here, but one of my favorite, most creative, most exciting players finished his military service and back to show us what he learned. We have GuMiho. The Last Mech Terran will break out those compositions in any matchup at any time, sometimes very much to his own detriment. But the player on the other side is definitely not unique in that as well. Another headstrong Terran bashing directly into this TVT. You know him, you love him, it's ByuN. He's back for more, playing in multiple weekly cups. GSL, ESL, DreamHack, more SLs than you have time for. He's on Team Shopify Rebellion as well, supporting some of the most exciting StarCraft 2 players. Yeah. I have in the past had a bit of an aversion to those mirror matchups. Yes. I know you, my dear viewer, though most of them have already tuned out at this point once they realized it was a TVT. This isn't a mere matchup. This is GuMiho versus ByuN. You couldn't get 2 more different styles of Terran. Well, maybe... Yeah, you could, but it'd be difficult. Okay, GuMiho is a bit more... He reminds me of, like, I've been playing too much World of Warcraft, so we're gonna use that. Like a dwarf warrior. Okay. Takes the hits, punches back hard, and surprisingly agile when you least expect. But he's definitely not a very fast player. He usually averages under 300 APM, which, for reference, that is slow. 400 to 450 is more where ByuN and Maru usually are. Whereas, I mean, ByuN is just trying to hit you everywhere at once. A lot of the time, ByuN, honestly, has looked amazing in these weekly cups lately. Just recently watched him versus Classic and just outmaneuvering every little bit of the Protoss Death Ball. But guess what? TVT is a whole nother beast. It's chess boxing, all right? We spend 5 minutes moving around the pieces in order to punch each other in the face for a few seconds. And a lot of the time, that's how it ends up going down. Speaking of, a couple Reapers of GuMiho just... Okay, so he just went into the main. He was trying to find that timing when maybe ByuN was moving out. GuMiho's like, why would you just leave your Reapers and Hellions at home? Kind of undercutting my commentary. And ByuN's like, because you're an idiot. It is the timing when GuMiho moved out there. When usually you'd send your 3 Reaper to Hellion across. But neither player is going for that. They're both... That was GuMiho trying to out-mind game ByuN, and ByuN just kind of chilling in his base, like, really, bro? And I expect to see a lot of that in this series. Like, GuMiho just throwing things out there, and ByuN either being over-prepared or entirely out of position. I'm not sure what it's going to be end up being more of, but I'm excited to find out. So, a Widow Mine wanders across the map, a Marine deals with it, the Cyclone cleans it up, ByuN wondering why you would even scout with a Marine there, GuMiho about to respond, why would you send a Widow Mine all the way across the map? Are you trying to mind game me? Of course, he's typing as the medevac comes in, GuMiho just laughs at him. If ByuN does the classic BM move of typing right before the Hellion Reaper comes in, don't you do it, ByuN. Oh my god, this is a game. Okay, alright. I thought he might throw the words in there, but oh, he jukes the lock-on! ByuN, one of the only players who sees 2 Cyclones and says, whatever. He's dodging the lock-ons with the medevac and uses it to soften up and kill several SCVs, but on the other side of the map, trading blows, another Cyclone drives away a medevac as they both poke and prod. ByuN, I can't believe ByuN looks at 2 Cyclones and he says, yeah, no problem. On paper, those easily kill what ByuN has, but ByuN doesn't put his builds down on paper. They're in some sort of netherworld that only he... Oh, well, GuMiho manages to take out... No, it dies, right? What? The Reaper... Well, no. No. It dies. All right. So where does that leave us? A Raven comes in. The SCP's already moving away. Gets one. ByuN has a slight SCP lead. They are both... No, that he blocks the add-on with the nope. Alright. So. They're both at the point where they can't directly attack each other. There should be enough units. Though the positioning very much matters. ByuN is moving out with... I guess we'll call it an army. The expeditionary force here. Yeah, that's totally... The mind games upon mind games. This is only useful if GuMiho just walks out into it without scouting. Because who would have a tank here? What is this? But the Raven just goes straight out ahead. And ByuN snipes it! Oh, no! I mean, he didn't get the army, but... And meanwhile, GuMiho picks up. And he heads past... Well, yep, here we are. There's only a single tank at home. The scan, he doesn't see anything because the army is right off to the side. Unfortunately, though, in ByuN's main, he's right on top of the tank. ByuN has nothing here. The double scramble drops a turret. GuMiho sieges up his own main. He has a little bit more warning than ByuN did. And there is no medevac to try to break in. That single tank may make all the difference here. Drops both auto turrets. Oh, what a mess. Well, another tank siege is up. Well, GuMiho has a lot more in his base. The boys are pulled. The Marines taking critical damage, and ByuN taps out. Oh, in early round knockout here. GuMiho throws the haymaker and lands it. A gamble that could have resulted in total disaster instead ends up getting him game number 1. All right. Okay. Yep, that's TVT. With these two especially. Like, this is not like Hero Marine versus Maru or something. Maru or Cure even. Cure definitely a more conservative Terran. Cure probably a better comparison because Maru will easily just outmaneuver. Honestly, Maru has the best TVT in the world, so he could do... Maru's not here. You know who is? GuMiho and ByuN. Game 2. Gosh. It's one of... It feels a lot of the time like... with these two players especially, playing against them is like a trampoline or a seesaw. Where instead of calming down as time goes on, it just gets more and more dramatic until someone gets bounced off. And, well, it ended with both players just pushing directly into the main base before the natural was even fully established, so, yeah. The only thing I can say now is both the barracks are in the main base, so that is the only sign of sanity in Game 2. Double gas is standard in TVT, because if you don't have those early... If you don't have Reaper Hellion, essentially, or at least some version of those early tech units, Marines are just not very good until they get all their fixins. It's not until, well, in towards probably like 100 supply when you're able to get enough Marines with stim, combat, shield, any sort of upgrades. And that just doesn't happen in TVT. Like, you're dealing with tanks. You're dealing with Cyclones and Ravens and Vikings, oh my. And, those Marines are just cannon fodder, essentially. Sometimes players will just go straight into, like, 8, 10, 12 Vikings. We play the Viking, essentially Viking chicken, where both players will keep making Vikings and just never build medevacs because they don't want to be left with less Vikings. We didn't even get there because that last game ended so dramatically, but I think that's the next level of seesawing that we're going to see, is that air control war, which is also incredibly it's one of those things that makes it so hard to tell who's winning in TVT. Because the Vikings all stack up, the target fire, all the Raven spells. It's hard to tell exactly who's winning until someone clearly has already. It's understanding how those fights are going to go before they start, especially. Well, GuMiho not sending the Reapers out to try to find the timing this time. The Widow Mine, a bit of a gamble in the early game. It slows down any other tech, but it's relatively cheap. It can one-shot Reapers, Cyclones, Hellions. If you actually manage to pick up a Cyclone with it, well, that's a huge win in the early game, as we saw ByuN attempt last game. A bit more passive. Waterfall is also the closest rush distance in the map pool, at least of the conventional maps. The ones where your main is further away than the rest of the bases, unlike, you know, Stargazer, for example. So not that surprising to see an early game kill there. Alright, here we go. ByuN has a medevac, he has any amount of units, and he's gonna micro. On paper, this should be easily dealt with. Oh my god. He does it! Ah! Oh my god, ByuN, you disgusting fiend. He flanks him from inside his own base, picks up, gets out the lock-on, does a little bit of damage. And that's it. He just realizes with the Cyclone he's got to get out, but... Oh, ByuN. Like, a lot of the time it feels like ByuN doesn't bother with asking himself whether or not he should. It is entirely whether or not he could. And he almost always can't. Third command center for GuMiho. On the corner here where it's... Well, you can easily move it, but in the corner it's out of scan range. Like, your average scan will probably not hit it. And I think that's part of what he's trying to hide, especially with the Raven patrolling here. ByuN just assumes, or it doesn't even respect GuMiho enough to acknowledge any potential map control. He just takes his third on location. GuMiho's going to be done quicker, but the on location does save you a few SCVs. You're already there to produce them. Cyclone zones out. Did he spot the CC? He did. Very important info for GuMiho. Rax is 2 and 3 on the way. Details. Details are everything. Worker count's about even. Engineering base here. The Widow Mine. Sneaking up. That Widow Mine doing any amount of splash damage or picking off any of those key units. Definitely a focal point. Oh, did he spot it? He spotted it. The Ravens are here. No Vikings yet. They're both just continuing the Raven production. GuMiho starts 1-1. He's now invested a whole lot of money in not units. In production, in general, but ByuN has focused a little more on the units. And they've manifested themselves across the map. He has that medevac from earlier. Remember, he didn't lose anything So far, it's been 2 of GuMiho's Hellions that have died. That's about to end. Auto turrets on both sides. The TPM raises temporarily. The auto turrets battle it out. Oh, the target fire from GuMiho to take down the Ravens themselves. But that leaves some of the Marines vulnerable. ByuN splitting his Marines. One more auto turret drawing fire. Oh, and picks up, and it looks like... Oh, if he just gets the Raven. Oh, he gets the Raven. Okay. It looks like... Huh. I think the tie goes to the leader on this one. And I think in this case, I'm gonna favor GuMiho a little. Why? Because GuMiho started his upgrades quicker. He got his third base quicker. And in that case, as long as he defends strongly, without losing this position, he's going to be more ahead in the long term. Of course, he does have to have enough units to do so, and the boys are pulled. Vikings on deck to help deal with this. On both sides. Extra effective. Oh my god, that is the most vulnerable meta. ByuN, he can't drop out because the other tanks were there, the boys. The Vikings fighting on the ground as anti-tank options. 1-1 is finishing up. Stim's about to finish, but there's not that many Marines. The tank count suffering here for GuMiho. He has those upgrades done, but he does lose a lot of mining time and several SCVs. Might try to take advantage of this position. He definitely has air control. Oh, a single tank. He's going to be able to take out the Vikings and drive GuMiho away. This is actually quite a dicey position. He can stim those Marines, but a tank! Uncombat shielded Marines, incredibly vulnerable. Oh, wait, actually, GuMiho, quite slow on the combat shield. I don't know if he queued it up after or there was a slight delay, but he's not going to have it. And that's going to negate most of the advantage. And now ByuN in position to threaten again. He doesn't acknowledge his opponent's advantages. He just works around them. And right now he knows he doesn't want to take a heads-up fight. He just wants to be sieged up before anything starts. That's a disgusting position there. GuMiho sends out a medevac to potentially deal with the 4th. ByuN is a little bit more dramatic about it. He's going to see... Yeah, that's going to be a cancel. That's a guaranteed cancel there. The tank count continues to grow for GuMiho. Nope, other way. ByuN. Both sides, but ByuN has maintained a lot more throughout this. I don't think GuMiho is going to get a cancel on the 4th. That's a... Ooh. That was a scary amount of tanks. The armory, the refinery here, the command center finishes. ByuN is playing so actively, taking the initiative. And GuMiho is just not keeping up. I think you're seeing like 300 versus 375 average APM here. GuMiho right on the edge of that. It really does feel like that extra 75 is going into keeping the map control. Since they both have similar unit compositions, it comes down to position control. Who was able to actually move around quickly enough in order to catch their opponent off guard. That's a single... Where's combat? ByuN forgot combat shield! God, what? You know, the amount of Terrans, it doesn't stop once you hit, you know, World Championship level. You still will forget combat shield. This is just a staple. It happens at every Terran, like once a year, you're gonna have to take a few days off in order to get combat shield. Yeah, ByuN has just maintained this map control, and he's used it to take better fights. He's gotten into position quicker. His pieces, he's bombing tanks with Marines. Gets another one. The tank count is now still double for ByuN compared to GuMiho. Oh, this is disastrous. He doesn't need combat shield for this fight. He's about to finish it as well. Oh, GuMiho just a couple steps too far forward every single time. ByuN is just a little too quick. That's not enough. That's a disgusting position. GuMiho has an upgrade advantage. The boys are pulled. But those tanks, well, Oh, I don't understand this matchup at all. I mean, he loses 20 SCVs. So, that's really not great. No, you can't just... No, where are you going? You can't just load up in the medevacs. He's gonna drop on the tanks. Like, that's 4 tanks right there. He's unsieging them, which I'm not sure if that's necessarily better. Loses a medevac. Oh my god. Where are these coming? He sent 2 medevacs. I'm done. It took a little longer to get to this phase of the game where we start loading everything up and sending it out, but we're here now. Scanning for a 4th? Right? Yeah, or the army in general, but the natural. GuMiho just doesn't have the units to distribute between his bases. ByuN dropping multiple bases with a single set of medevacs. Liberators are here as GuMiho was really looking to press his map control, or his air control rather. But the engineering bays, most of the lead that GuMiho has been relying on, those upgrades are taken down. They're denied. He's gonna get both. And ByuN has already started the 3-3. It's taken this long. But now ByuN will potentially have the upgrade advantage if we make it that far, of course. He's got 2 more command centers in the main, because of course he does. The tank count is 7-5. All the momentum still remains with ByuN. But we are one bad fight away from that shifting, of course. That's TVT in a nutshell. Losing those upgrades means now GuMiho's on the clock. He can no longer rely on a smaller army. He has less economy. He has to fight. The scan spots everything. ByuN knows this. He's got a double drop. Oh, that tank gonna do a lot of damage, but not enough. GuMiho, like, does he just tap? Is it checkmate, or does he... You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it, GuMiho. Come on. Come on, give it a shot. ByuN knows exactly what's happening. Oh god, both players do. ByuN is just gutting the main. Like, he knows. He's just gonna go. There's 4 tanks behind that. Well, we'll have to see. 4 tanks sieged. The medevacs are doing good. It's not good enough. Check and mate. ByuN takes game 2. A pretty decisive demonstration of what maintaining the initiative can do for your momentum. ByuN clearly the faster player when it comes to those marine tank compositions. And GuMiho just not able to keep up. It's all tied up, 1-1. Game 3, Data C. Oh god, they're both doing it. Oh no. Oh no. This is awkward. No, actually nobody's cheesing, totally. They both know exactly what happened here. Oh, GuMiho sent down another one! Oh my god! ByuN just like, oh my god, imagine! Imagine! And GuMiho's like, yeah, totally, bro! Imagine if we had just proxied! Oh, that's so crazy! Oh! Except, I don't even know what this is gonna accomplish, because this is just so late. It's literally later than ByuN's rank. Of course, nobody wants to play Data C. Is he gonna proxy a factory? Who proxies a tank? If anyone wants to proxy a tank. Well... What? Okay. Well, I don't have enough gas for a factory. So... What? He's gonna put the starport here, I bet. Well, here we are. The Reaper are gonna head straight out, but the pathing does not... So, GuMiho has a barracks and a factory in the center of the map. ByuN has a barracks and a factory not in the center of the map. There's no units at home. ByuN could just be killing SCVs right now. Of course, the Reapers can come back, but that kind of gives it away. There's no expansion yet. ByuN, it looks like getting a little suspicious. Yeah, ByuN hasn't seen anything yet. Starting to wonder, you know... Feels like maybe did he just check the corner of his base?
Our SCVs are under attack.
Building at the corner. He sees the SCVs. GuMiho is a slightly faster. What is it gonna be? It's gonna be a Liberator. Gonna have a Medevac, maybe. Battlecruiser. Okay, he's not gonna go Battlecruiser, right? SCV comes up, but ByuN is Reaper Micro. I mean, there's no other player who's gotten the Reaper nerf more times than ByuN. So, another Reaper comes up, but it looks like with the SCV to bully here for a moment, he can't let it heal. He can repair his Hellion a little. It's gonna be a Liberator. There's now a Widowmine on the ramp. This is already quite a mess. I think GuMiho understands that's a bit of a bait there. There's a Viking on the way. The Liberator... Oh, he has to cancel the command center? What a mess of a game already. And now that means GuMiho is gonna have a faster command center. Well, GuMiho learned a lot about taking the initiative in that last match. And here we are. Will he actually get close enough? Unfortunately, this Liberator is, yeah. He gets a kill. I mean, there's no... Oh, he goes straight to the Widowmine. Gonna try to take it out. He gets it. You know, actually... Oh, but there's the Cyclone. Wow, a pretty devastating exchange on both sides. Fusion! Cool! Oh, GuMiho says, well, I'm not done. He backs off the starport and goes straight into Battlecruiser because that's just how GuMiBro do. And ByuN is, well, he's building Cloak Banshee, so this is just gonna be an absolute mess. There is a Cyclone and a Viking, but with only a single clone in Viking, like the Battlecruiser, and he's gonna have the jump out. This is a super key part, is being able to use that jump away. Ah, GuMiho. So the Banshee's gonna scout it, though somewhat awkwardly. No, I don't. The Battlecruiser's not gonna pop out before the Banshee scouts. It will be on. He sees the starport. Did he look? Oh yeah. He saw it. Yeah, he sees the starport. He cancels. Cancels the siege tank. Starts a Cyclone. Magfield accelerator. Battlecruiser is out. Yeah, engineering bay on the way. Where are the Cyclones? The tanks. This is happening. That's something that's happening. Multiple Cyclones. Yeah, this is not... Oh, if he gets a clone. Oh. Wait, where did he jump? ByuN saw that, right? Like, he saw that the jump, because it faces the direction you jump. And there's no... You can't go that far. Oh, God. The Banshee. The Banshee. Oh, but there's another Banshee. There's another There's Yamato cannon in production because, you know, of course, the double lock, but he gets away. So, very surprised he didn't just jump home and then send it out again after repairing. Oh, another... He's doubling down on the Battlecruiser. He's getting Yamato to be able to take out those Cyclones before they can strike back with their mag field lock-ons. Well, what did you think the Banshee was gonna do? I mean, the cloak runs out, but the Cyclones are out of position. Another Battlecruiser is done. He's gonna wait out Yamato, it looks like. So where does this leave us? Neither player interested in playing another Marine tank game. That much is quite clear. GuMiho continues to rally siege tanks from his factory. He has 2 factories, but he chooses to use the one in the middle of the map to produce units, because of course he does. The Cyclones are not... Oh, that's... Ooh, that is a Denmark of Vikings right there. Well, that's not good. And Yamato is not done. He's got to get out. He's going into the natural. He comes in. He's got to be very careful with that thing. Those things are more expensive than a goddamn command center. Jump! No, run! GuMiho, you fool! Oh, God. Welcome back to Bronze League. Oh, wow. GuMiho. The fusion core can be targeted here, which is... the starport is just dead, right? Like... Yeah, the starport's dead. There's one Battlecruiser. GuMiho's just going mech because here we are. And honestly, ByuN is trying to go bio, but he's so far off of actually having an army. This keeps happening. If he's gonna see how many tanks has he built up the middle. You know, map tanks are just built different, okay? They're built under, like, they're hardened by the crucible of dying horribly at any time. So, here we are. Like, he could have been building tanks in the Bay. But no, he preferred to get that factory, use that factory while he could. So, GuMiho's army. The armies are actually quite similar right now, though ByuN is going into Marines. Oh, this ain't gonna... He is not gonna do it. That's too many tanks. He agrees. No, not even ByuN's gonna micro that. The Battlecruiser... No. So GuMiho essentially boxes out ByuN for now. Gets his third, and it looks like he wants a planetary. Which... Who would have thought, when the SCV's chest bumped, going for the proxy racks? This is where we would end up. But here we are. GuMiho with the follow-up double proxy play, into follow-up Battlecruiser proxy, into 3-base mech. Has he walled off his tanks, or what am I? I'm also a tank walling off aficionado. I'm very good at walling off my own tanks. Every Terran knows. It's one of those skills, like forgetting combat shield. The Vikings are patrolling. ByuN gonna take probably the rest of his side of the map. So, what should have been, or could have been, the shortest game of the series may very well end up as the longest one here on Data C. Because ByuN is gonna try the attrition play up against... Oh, he didn't go for a planetary. He just didn't build the orbital. What am I watching? Well, it's time. GuMiho. He has the clones. He has the mech. And you know what that means. And he has the high ground. It's time for Game 3. Well, I knew this would come in handy. No, we don't. Oh, there's the blue flame. How I had a premonition. You gotta jump! He jumps away. But that clears the beachhead. ByuN drops the Vikings and the bio, but the tanks They might not be able to get any closer because I think he walled himself out. But the rest of the units will be able to help. Yamato, don't let that cannon hit you in the door on the way out. Wait, hit you in the Viking, not the door. There's no door. Where we're going, we don't use doors. Tactical jump, medevacs, Vikings. Almost no one's actually walking across. The bio units just buffer for the mechanical powerhouses on either side. One tank obliterated. +1 vehicle weapons. Finishes for GuMiho. That allows you to kill tanks in one less hit. That's actually a huge upgrade for these tank battles. The Battlecruiser boxing out. The Vikings adding damage from the back, and suddenly the Viking count favors GuMiho. Between the last two fights, the Battlecruiser still intact, while it didn't get much damage on the other side, is now a linchpin of the defense. And the supplies are even. Right now, ByuN trying to make this bio army work. But GuMiho has solidified his position with the mech army. He's got Blue Flame done. He's got multiple tanks in production. He's got his 4th base and that ever-important Vespene gas established. And now ByuN is going to have to make one of the hardest decisions of a Terran player in this matchup. Do you stop going for bio and switch into Vikings for air control? Or do you try to just overrun your opponent with the sheer amount of units you can produce as a bio player? Which is usually significantly more because barracks are cheaper, they don't cost gas, obviously a lot of bio units produce faster. I mean, it's ByuN, so he starts 2 starports, he drops the main, the Battlecruiser jumps in to defend. The rest of the army rallies back. And between the Battlecruiser, the Vikings, and the Hellions targeting the Marines here so that the way the Battlecruiser can clean up the rest. ByuN, he checks his watch, he says, oh look, it's drop o'clock. He sees another set of tanks here. He's not even gonna care that they're Hellions as the tank fire drawn into their own, but the Vikings knock down the medevac. 10 SCVs went down with the attack, but that just allows GuMiho to fill up more army supply. Scans, decides, you know what, actually that amount of tanks is worth backing off for. ByuN has 8 to 14 siege tanks. He finished 2 starports back on the other side of the map. So that means he will be looking towards air control, but he's still a long way off. He's gonna drop tanks on the tanks, which, you know, is a pretty direct counter. Yeah, he's got tank evacs yet again. The Battlecruiser. The tactical jump is not off cooldown. What? Why is there an SCV? Oh. The newest buddy cop movie. Well, there goes the SCV, giving... and so starts the vengeance arc for the Battlecruiser. He opens up the way for the rest of the army to move in. ByuN actually stemmed his whole army back for a goddamn Battlecruiser. I can't believe it worked. And after everything, GuMiho's the one pressing forward with an incredibly hard to dislodge army. He's got the Vikings. Oh, but the drop from the back. ByuN looking for the flank. Isn't enough. The tanks are holding. The Vikings are knocking it down. Reinforcements, though. The tank count is crumbling. And the pincer attack from the skies and ground is enough to hold the line. The Battlecruiser will kill the planetary, by the way. That's been happening this whole time. We just cut back to that. Meanwhile, tanks on the other side. ByuN stimming in. That's still so many tanks for GuMiho. He's got +2. This is a desperate and ill-fated attack as he's trying. He has the high ground, ByuN. Don't try it. GuMiho will hold. His tank count overwhelming. The Battlecruiser still going. 20 kills. I will take 20 of you for every one of us that you kill. He can jump away. The Vikings show up. He jumps back home. The fusion core long since dead, but a new one is being reborn for ByuN. Wait, for what? Is he actually gonna go Battlecruiser instead of Raven? Yeah, like that's for Battlecruisers. But the Viking battle continues. The brawl in the center of the map. The tank count for GuMiho. He still has some air control, and with those mech weapons upgrades, a few tanks. Those SCVs need to be on auto repair. The Viking count marginally in favor of ByuN? No. Well, The Vikings here, it's hard to tell. It's a meat grinder. This should have been over with the proxy, but here we are. What a game. Still very unclear, though. GuMiho pressing in, and ByuN can't afford to lose another base. He needs to deal with this army. I don't know. Are there any medevacs? There's only one. The potential. The Battlecruiser is actually a real threat here. Just in the sheer amount of fire it can draw from the Marines. The Vikings, ByuN is getting ground down. The Battlecruiser, as surgically as a massive laser bathtub can, surgically dismantling the defense. Yamato jumps away. And GuMiho is slowly but surely carving away ByuN's bases. The tank count dwindling. Down to 3 against 17. I'm not a mathematician, but guess what, ByuN?
Numbers don't lie, and they spell death.
He pulls everything in. Those are... Oh, the Hellions coming up. ByuN may hold for now. A few held up, but at what cost? GuMiho with the double... the pump fake proxy into Battlecruiser mid-map mech comes out ahead and puts himself on match point. What a mess. When I said it wasn't gonna be a mere matchup, well, that's kind of what I meant. These two are oil and water here, and I'm not sure which one's which. No, GuMiho's probably the oil. Definitely. No, I'm pretty... Actually, I'm sure. Never mind. I rescind my previous statement. GuMiho is the oil, clearly. And ByuN is the water because he's dropping everywhere. And oil because of the mech. Get it? Like it makes sense. You could use it. There are a lot of... Tropical Sacrifice, Game 4. It's raining men for ByuN. Not yet. Not that. We'll keep that one in reserve. Jimmy, edit that out. We'll wait. We'll bring that back in when appropriate. Double gas, no SCVs on the map. God, I can't believe they both went directly across. The only way they could have seen each other is if they were both going for the exact same thing. And that is where the similarities ended. Factory. The usual suspects here. Pulling out of gas, GuMiho looking for that expo potentially. So is ByuN, but slightly less. Does he actually go across the map with the Reaper, or is he just taking a look around? Does he really think? Yeah, they're both checking for the proxies. So they do have that in common. Not surprising. Command center a little quicker here for Gumi Bro. But ByuN will have slightly more gas, so we'll see if he goes straight into any sort of tech. The Battlecruiser, like, is just a big kick me sign, essentially. Or shoot me, rather, in this case. Battlecruisers are surprisingly effective at absorbing attention and damage. I mean, most Metal League Terrans will tell you that. But even ByuN falling prey to it. Oh, really? Oh my god, hiding in the bushes, but a Hellion. The micro begins. Oh, grenade. You know, looks like GuMiho is getting the better end of this. Yeah, GuMiho with a slight bit of initiative. Whoa, is that it? No, he misses the shot. Don't do it. Oh, isn't able to make good on his advantage. Is he gonna see the Widowmine? That's the question here. He's banking that. Whoop, the Hellion was being repaired. Oh, I think he spotted it there. Beautifully done, GuMiho, using what little bit of time he had while that Hellion was repaired. I mean, that's pretty significant. He's gonna have 1 or 2 SCVs extra on the natural. He's ground out a little lead for himself. Nothing that can't change with a single medevac or something like that, but... Yep, he has Marines and a Hellion. Did you learn anything else?
Add-on complete.
No. Not sure how valuable that particular information is, but... Ooh, a Hellion drop. Not something you see every day, though that gives away where the depot is and may allow him to unload in the fog of war. Unless ByuN suspects exactly this and spots it that exact moment, in which case he will see it. Because, well, here we are. Oh, that's SimCity making it. Oh, ByuN kept the depot open until the Hellions were like 3/4 of the way there, and then shut it, which drove the Hellions back towards his army and into the only path they could move. And minimized the damage beautifully there. Overall, GuMiho kind of getting stuffed on this. He got the medevac out, which is something. GuMiho does have that small SCV lead now. Third command center. ByuN's is about to finish. And he's gonna get away with it too. Those meddling Hellions not able to slow him down enough. Overall, about even in the early game exchange, but GuMiho getting deflected. A lot of bruised SCVs though. I don't think he's going to be taken about anytime soon. GuMiho went for the double NG bay and then the double racks. So he's really focused on those upgrades. Whereas ByuN looks to be the opposite. He's focused on the unit count. Which, you know, based on these two players, makes sense. Thing is, ByuN has 3 Ravens. That's enough interference matrices to potentially crack open the defense. Some turrets to cover for an attack. A lot has to happen very quickly when those Ravens get involved. There's a lot of potential in that much energy. But also, it could be completely whiffed. Oh, what is he doing? He's going straight towards the main. I don't know if chasing the Ravens is necessarily the play. Vikings pop out. He's just staggering auto turrets. But at the same time, well, this is awkward. Yeah, you're going to want to lift that. GuMiho instead starts an SCV. out of reflex. Oh no, he's got 19 in gas. Okay, he realizes. ByuN once again not respecting GuMiho at all. And this is the thing, like now you're on his playing field. Right now GuMiho is going for the same composition ByuN is. Oh god. And this kind of feels like a ByuN will drag him into his corner and beat him with experience situation. Unless GuMiho is able to make big moves relatively early. We already saw that in game 2. But yeah, that SCV lead has evaporated with ByuN's well defended and quicker third CC. The upgrade lead will be the only thing that GuMiho will really have going for him here. He's got an armory started. Does ByuN have an armory started? No, he does not. And he's still pretty far off on one, because he focused on that barracks production earlier. He's going to have the marine count. GuMiho doing a good job keeping active on the map without risking the army. The drop going to come out. Oh, and he scrambles it! Oh, no! No, let us out! Let us out! Oh, what a choice. Oh. What a... something people don't usually factor in. Oh, no. Auto turrets. One comes out. The Marines just obliterated. They weren't quite close enough. It looks like that one auto turret made a big difference. And the barracks themselves are vulnerable. Vikings on the deck, able to do extra damage. But guess what? Here comes ByuN. He has a couple auto turrets to cover. He doesn't quite land it. Vikings on deck, taken out. Another kind of... I'm not... Oh my god. GuMiho. It's not a... He'd taken a play directly out of ByuN's entire playbook. It looks like it's gonna be raining men. Because it's drop o'clock. It's a callback. Unfortunately, no recall back for ByuN. He's gonna have to go for it. But guess what? The boys are pulled. There's not that many SCVs. And there's not that many Marines behind them. The upgrades have evened up. The main base. Slightly defended. GuMiho decided to defend the low ground, which was a bit optimistic, but he's got some tanks here. He's going to have to pull the rest of the boys more than likely. ByuN has stalled out the attack in the main and the natural. Overall, ByuN cracking through the defenses here with the frontal assault, whereas GuMiho's main base dive is not quite finding purchase. He's going to drop right on top of the tanks. You got to make a decision! Oh wait, a few more tanks will join up at the third. Those Vikings, dangerous here. The boys are pulled. SCVs, you gotta take out the Vikings if possible. Pulling back the tank. It's a mess. It is a mess out here. But this leaves GuMiho with one base and ByuN with 2.5. So, like... it feels like you're kind of trading your knight for your king here with GuMiho. He takes out a bunch of SCVs. He whittles down the economy. But there's still like 7 tanks at his natural. So the obvious flank is coming in. GuMiho trying to set up a 3-prong surround before, like, he spots that the reinforcements, like, he can't unsiege. Are we just gonna ignore the 7 tanks at the natural? The 7 tanks in the room, if you would? Okay. Alright. Alright then, well, a single tank on this side could make all the difference. The Marine count and the medevac count favors GuMiho. Vikings showing up to the party. The boys are pulled. The concave is incredible for GuMiho here. But the Marine count with the boys, a few more reinforcements, it's not quite enough. And are we gonna remind ourselves of the 7 tanks at the natural, anyone? Anyone? There's still 7 tanks. 6 tanks. I can't count. Yeah, 6 tanks. Oh, whatever. No problem. 6 tanks, much easier. Like, once you get over 3, they all one-shot your Marines anyways, so whatever. He's gonna go take a corner base. It feels like diminishing returns here on the Doom drop. There is a tank here. You could drop right on top of it. Like, not sure. The tanks are moving slightly up. There's a lot of energy. Looks like check and mate here. As ByuN in a holding position at GuMiho's natural, he deflects the attack to his main, and we're all tied up at 2-2. GuMiho almost dragged him into chaos and made it dramatic, but not enough at the end of the day. ByuN holds down the key locations. And that brings us to everyone's favorite standard, not crazy map, Stargazers. Where we have totally standard builds and nothing wild at all, I'm sure. In Game 5. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Like, subscribe if you haven't. Say, I want more mirror matchups. Honestly, it is harder to find a more exciting mirror matchup, but with these two, you got the recipe. Alright, it's just, while the dish may be harder to cook up, these are some premium ingredients. So, let's see what they have for dessert. The ace match. It's clear. GuMiho is a more strategical player. That's a science term. I'm a big science fan. He is, in every game he's won, he's been outthinking GuMiho. I mean, outthinking ByuN. His unit composition, his positioning. Whereas ByuN is all about speed and agility. He's not necessarily outclassing GuMiho. Well, he is outclassing GuMiho. He's just using the same units, and he's just doing it better. He's just a little faster, a little more confident in the Marine Micro, a little more established in his mechanics, and it shows. Like, it really does. I have no idea. Like, honestly, I favor GuMiho on this map. This is Stargazer. Though, it leaves a lot of airspace and a lot of potential for drops or even tank pushes through the natural. I still like any sort of map that kind of trends towards a more defensive mech. That's GuMiho's wheelhouse there. So. GuMiho going for a 1-Rax expand to the pocket base, which is a bold move. Let's see if it works out for him. Of course, you can defend both bases with the single high ground at the main, at least to start. The Reapers can only jump in here along the front. They can't get into that back base. Unless, of course, you take down the mineral wall or use a medevac or something. So, it isn't vulnerable. You can still defend the high ground. And I think that's what GuMiho is relying on here to get that slight advantage. ByuN has not scouted past looking for proxies. Starport, yeah. Slaps it in. He's making Reactor Reaper. But, okay. Alright, he's not adding it on. This is just... I'm just surprised to see something resembling... Like, this is actually the, quote, meta TVT build. 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion. We've seen almost none of it because they've both been kind of trying to out-mind game each other. But... this GuMiho, like, he has the Marines and 2 Hellions. It should be enough unless he's caught out of position. Which, I mean, like, well, is this out of position? Not anymore. And a single Reaper. This actually win for GuMiho here. Definitely. Like, not only deflecting the attack, but he's already got his natural set up. So he gets the full scout. And he knows exactly, well, he's about to know even more exactly what's going on. Oh my, actually, that is a huge scout as well. Seeing the second Rex instead of the starport. Did he cancel the starport, or was I looking at GuMiho's production? I think maybe. Yeah, that is huge info for this stage of the game. This lets GuMiho know it's not going to be a super early game pressure. In fact, there's probably not even starport units, though he's holding off at the natural. It's going to be quick stim and it's ByuN, so a bunch of stim marines and medevacs. But he gets in with the Hellions. He's killing some very key mules, these early game mules. In fact, he's killing some marines, which, is going to slow this down. Overall, GuMiho in a very solid position. Of course, there's no perfect defense against a double medevac drop unless you're able to shut it down before it unloads, especially if ByuN is able to find an area without tanks. We'll find out. A third command center is finishing. ByuN has not even started a third CC. He is all in, essentially, on these medevacs. And this couldn't be a more indicative game of these two players' styles, as GuMiho repeatedly fails to build a bunker in the same location because ByuN is just out up in his grill. GuMiho gonna try to establish a third. He's bunkering up bases in order to just have that extra defense. And right now, his defenses are quite thin. His Raven is taking the scenic tour around the map. There's just not that many units here. Oh, it was spotted. Yep. He saw the corner of it. The Raven is coming back home. I don't know if that's select all army hotkey or intentional, but multiple tanks. ByuN's going for it. Stim helping out. Target fire's there. Viking's going to work. The Raven shows up. A fortuitous timing. Multiple auto turrets, I think, will save the day here. So, while GuMiho loses all of his tanks, he holds the line. The thing is, the next attack is coming. There's just not that much production right now for GuMiho. He goes for combat shield first, because he knows he just needs to blunt the spear a bit here. As ByuN trying to dive through those stim marines, not much HP left over. Oh, GuMiho. Still, it's not over. It is not remotely over. The tank will siege. Finds the back of the natural. Target fire from ByuN. Auto turret's a huge important part. A single auto turret, though. Just the boys here to defend. Oh, 16 SCV is down in the last minute. Starting to really add up. And ByuN is taking his third command center on the low ground during all of this. But GuMiho, still, he's getting 1-1. He's had those 3 CCs. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's bad. But it's not critical damage quite yet. Okay, he's throwing grenades. ByuN picks up. It looks like he's just gonna drop on his face, which is considered rude by some and exciting by others, but either way, we'll have to see how it goes. Just fighting directly, splitting with the medevac drops. There is a tank on the high ground. Here come the Ravens. And gonna lose one medevac. Empty because he's lost so many marines. GuMiho trying to recover in the SCV count. Third command center now done for ByuN, but his upgrades are actually about almost a minute behind that of GuMiho, which has just been a constant story. The thing is, GuMiho doesn't have that many units with which to use those upgrades, I say, looking at the unit count and seeing he has slightly more marines now. I guess when you stop sending, or you haven't sent any medevacs across the map. Wait, what is this? Well, both players, great minds think most alikest, as the saying goes. Oh god, wait. This is a bit awkward. Okay, this is like a medium amount of awkward. This is like your foot accidentally touched that relative that you don't really like and don't want to talk to's foot under the table at Thanksgiving. And nobody, you don't want to acknowledge it, but they're like, footsies. Like that kind of awkward. Totally normal thing, right? Anyways, all those Marines die. In other news, two, slightly ahead for GuMiho. The fourth base is scouted. And what is the Raven count? All right, 2-0. Those two Ravens are the most important units in the game right now. Those two Ravens are the difference between GuMiho with a potentially game-winning attack and ByuN able to outmaneuver him. Oh, the tanks. A great scan from GuMiho. Now, what's the choice? He keeps the Ravens intact. Gonna scramble? Is he gonna scramble? He does. He scrambles 3 out of 4. 4 out of 4! Full scramble here. Now, is this gonna be over easy? He gets 1. He gets 2. He gets 3. He gets all 4. And GuMiho strikes back with a decisive action. He may have lost those Marines, he may have lost so many battles, but the war right now is looking very much in doubt for ByuN, as all those little things add up. Oh my god. The sheer Marine count, ByuN is in a... and he kept the Ravens alive. ByuN does have a 4th here to potentially retreat to, but the upgrades, there's nothing slowing GuMiho down. He's just going to have more units. He's going to continue stimming and winning across the map. He's won the fight. He's won the series. 3-2. GuMiho. He consolidates his forces, and with one decisive attack, wins the ESL Cup here over ByuN. ByuN playing a little too fast and loose with those medevacs, and is going to come up short this time. Ooh, a tough series. A very close, like, one of the closest I've seen, especially in these ESL Cups. And despite being a mere matchup, just such a split of those styles. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, though it probably isn't going to be as good. Jimmy, put the thing to pretend. Like, subscribe. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.